So if someone is speaking against his daughter, he would bring the original sheet he gave the man in exchange for the dowry. Because the Jew marriage went like this. If this man wanted my daughter, he would come to me and say, I like your daughter. I would speak to my daughter, and she was like, okay. Then I would say, it would cost this amount to be with my daughter, and you better treat her right, according to the Most High. And it would be a price for your daughter, called a dowry. He would give me the payment. I would, in exchange, give him a sheet that would go on their bed. They would go in the chambers, which was like a few yards away from where the people were gathered. They would have sex. The blood would come down on a token of virginity. They would wash off. And then the husband and wife would come before the crowd and hold each part of the sheet to show that it was a good exchange. And then they partied. That was the marriage. Now two families can come together because it was a good exchange before everyone that he gave a good exchange. So that's how the father is able to bring a token of virginity when someone tried to bring an evil name against his daughter. He go get the sheet. And once the sheet is finished, they fold it up and put it away before the priest and show the priest and give it back to the father. In cases like this, where this guy want to say something evil about his daughter 6 or 7 years later, saying, well, hold up. You was tainted anyway. Somebody else was with you anyway. Then the father would bring out the evidence. That's how we married. Now, keep that in mind when we go into the story about Christ's birth. See, that's the reason they teach you in the churches to stay away from the Old Testament. Because once you start getting understanding and laws of how things were done, you start to understand Christ's birth and things in the New Testament better. And you will point to those that have deceived you. Read on. What happens after that?
Verse 15. Then shall the father of the damsel and her mother take and bring forth the tokens of the damsel's virginity unto the elders of the city and the gate. And the damsel's father.
Hold on. Let me say this. I'm going to say this because I don't know if this dude, Yaba, Dao, Ho, or whoever he is, I don't know if this is your first time, okay? But I gave you an opportunity to bring a scripture and you didn't bring it. And I'm not going to have you here interrupting the class. Now, if you want to hear it all the way, we'll go through the scriptures to show what it is, and then you can ask the questions afterwards. If there's one more outburst or distraction after you have the opportunity, we're going to have to just block you all together. Now, you could listen to it all the way, and we'll answer to any of your questions because we respect you, and we'll be willing to hear if something is wrong. And we'll humbly say we're wrong if it's wrong. But please, let us go through it because you had your opportunity and you were wrong about that because there was no scriptures saying that. So let's go back to it. Read.
Verse 16. And the damsel's father shall say unto the elders, I gave my daughter unto this man to wife, and he hated her. And lo, he had given occasion of speech against her, saying, I found not thy daughter a maid.
Go ahead.
And yet these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity.
And these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity. So now he had proof that he gave his daughter and his daughter was never touched. And then what's the law after that? Read.
And they shall spread the cloth before the elders of the city.
And they shall spread the cloth before the elders of the city and do what?
And the elders of that city shall take that man and chastise him.
And they'll chastise him for lying on him. Lying on the father and the daughter and do what?
And they shall immerse him 100 shekels of silver.
Go ahead.
And give them unto the father of the damsel.
Go ahead.
Because he had brought up an evil name upon a virgin of Israel.
Go ahead.
And she shall be his wife. And he may not put her away all the days of his life.
And he shall not put her away all the days of his life. So not only that, he had to also give her riches based on lying on her name. Y'all see that? Read. So let's see if it's true. Let's see if a situation where her virginity was already taken, so to speak, and the father lied and didn't give a right exchange. Read.
Verse 20. But if this thing be true.
But if it be true, that means The father agreed to give him a woman that hadn't been touched, but gave him a woman that was touched by another man, or her virginity was broken or taken. Read.
And the tokens of virginity be not found for the damsel.
And there's no blood on the sheet that the father gave. What was the law for this woman? Read.
Verse 21. Then they shall bring out the damsel to the door of her father's house.
And do what?
And the men of the city shall stone her with stones.
Shall do what?
And the men of the city shall stone her with stones.
So if they come out before that crowd and there's no blood on that sheet, they would drag her out before the party, and each man would grab a rock and kill the girl. Right? Because it was a bad exchange. The guy did everything he was supposed to do. Now everyone knows that Joseph was betrothed to Mary. That was known. Joseph was betrothed. He was engaged to Mary. That was known. The question is, if he never touched Mary. Now, I'm going to go into the scriptures and show you. Why was he afraid to go before everyone and deal with it if he never touched her? If he didn't touch her, he just would have went into the chamber. The blood would have came down on it. And everything would have been fine. Why was he afraid to put her away? Why was he afraid if he didn't touch her already? Why was he afraid to go before everyone knowing that the blood wouldn't come down if no sex ever happened? Now, I don't want to theorize. Let's go into the scriptures. Let's go into the scriptures. Because it seems like the Catholic Church wants us to go directly to Matthew 1 and 18. But let's start at Matthew 1 and 1. Let's start at Matthew 1 and 1. Now everyone knows that there was a virgin birth well before they said Christ had a virgin birth, right? You didn't know about that? Tammuz, Osiris, Isis. Yeah, all these are virgin